socio-economic and political landscape. We'll delve straight into complex situations that is actually pervading the news space, specifically conversations that generated quite the buzz and set tongues wagging in terms of different people giving their own perception to issues. In 2 consecutive times, we've experienced the red and green chamber go blow to blow, but verbally. Today, there was a clash in the National Assembly. I want us to take a very cursory, take a close listen to this.
Honorable colleagues, we are more than that. We cannot resolve issues among ourselves democratically. We have to resolve it through shouting and insulting each other. We are more than that. Honorable Mark, Honorable Kabiru. This is very unparliamentary.
Distinguished colleagues, I am Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani. I represent Albasu Gajing Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I am comrade, as mentioned by the Speaker, and I'm from Kano State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, looking at this subject matter is all important, and we have a lot of things to handle in this Parliament currently. I think, Mr. Speaker, for us to call the CBN governor to invite him to listen to such matter, an ad hoc committee should be set up purposely to focus on this subject. Then they should report to the House where necessary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
People's Speaker, the Utumba one. Honorable colleagues, we are more than that.
Now, what is the reason for this clash? There was drama today in the House of Reps where lawmakers clashed, engaged in heated argument over 16 trillion naira CBN probe. One would actually consider that to be quite interesting. That's not the only thing. Akpabio and Sereka Dixon also went head-to-head yesterday as well. And that's not the only person. Also, Adam Soshomele gave his own input, and this was concerning sending Nigerian troops to Benin Republic. Now, the House, actually, the president sent that he needed their approval as soon as possible for that to take place. Everybody agreed to it. But later, Sereka Dixon decided to look and said, why don't we debate this? I mean, this is a country that is supposedly sovereign. Why are you sending your military troops there when you need more people on ground due to the insecurity we're currently facing? I am sure you guys know that ISWAP executed 2 Nigerian spies. That is what you call a covert operation. So there were some Nigerian spies who were kind of transmitting information from ISWAP to the Nigerian military. As you all know, the U.S. reconnaissance, intelligence gathering, and their team are already monitoring Borno State, Niger State, Kebbi State, all the hot zones at this very moment. A team has been conscripted already to investigate those areas. They're using digital and intelligence to gather information about that. So possibly, if there's going to be a strike, the strike will be precise to hit the enclaves of these terrorists and not any innocent Nigerian who live along those vicinities. It's quite complex. You know how these guys do. They hide in territories more dominated by people. So if there's going to be any situation, you're going to incur collateral damage. The US is trying to ensure that they're isolated in whatever strike that will be carried out against them. You do know as well that House of Rep member Riley Moore is still in Nigeria and visiting several IDP camps, and he said the stories he has heard, the gory details of what transpired to the persons in the IDP camp is terrible. He said this has gotten to a crux, to a point whereby the government allowed this anomaly, this terrible situation to get on for so long, and there were horrid details about the victims, how their family members were slaughtered in their presence, how the babies were cut out from the womb of pregnant women. They gave various descriptions. Riley Moore tweeted all of that and said they're still gathering a lot of information about this. Now let's take a listen to Akpabio and Sereka Dixon yesterday.
Yeah, wrong. Sorry? The communication is for the Senate to give consent for the President to act in line with the Constitution, not to debate.
Mr. President.
So the communication, if you debate...
We are saying the same thing. Can you listen also?
No. All the senators here that gave consent are aware of the content of that letter. They would not have given consent if they were not in agreement with the President's request.
Once it is closed, Mr. President, you cannot reopen it. It is sealed in concrete. Our endorsement of the action is total. It is not open to further conversation. And comments expressed just now on this very critical issue by the Deputy Senate President. But on conveying the views and commendation of the ECOWAS Parliament as he has done. But Mr. President, without prejudice to that, I have thought that with the communication of Mr. President, which has been read this morning, that we will discuss the validity and the appropriateness and add value to it, because the whole essence is for that communication to be debated, for it to enjoy legitimacy, so that everyone in this country will know, and even outside will know. So now what I'm saying is that...
sorry, you are wrong.
Sorry?
The communication is for the Senate to give consent, for the President to act in line with the Constitution, not to debate.
Mr. President.
So the communication, if whether you debate...
We are saying the same thing. Can you listen also?
No, where you have...
Now, if you recall, the Nigerian troops are meant to be sent to Benin Republic. The president reached the Senate for consent for him to, as based on what is required in the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution as amended. Senate approval is needed. It's just like what transpired in Rivers State during the state of emergency, whereby at least 2/3 of the Senate needs to agree to that. But we saw how the president went ahead and declared a state of emergency even before we saw any acknowledgement from the Senate. Now, the president wrote straight to the Senate and there was no debate. Now, Sarah K. Dixon was saying every time something comes from the presidency, we don't get to deliberate, we don't get to debate, we just assent to it. What is the essence of we being here? We're meant to checkmate the executive, we're meant to check whatever orders he brings to us, but most times he asks us to do something. It is expedited, no challenge, no motion, nobody looks into it. Most times it's express approval. And the senator was saying that, the Senate president was saying that no, it is not open for debate. It is only to be consented to as required by the Constitution, as well as the agreement that they have with ECOWAS. In other words, the president asking for permission wasn't for it to be open for debate. It was for the House to consent to it so that the troops could be deployed there as soon as possible to sustain a democracy in Benin Republic. Now, you know that the situation in Benin Republic generated diverse views. There were those who supported the president doing what he did, and there were those who said, how dare you try that? What if, as the US designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and American president said, we're going to invade Nigeria, guns are blazing, we'll wipe out terrorists from their enclaves? What if we began to see the US jets and or warcraft helicopter on our airspace? No approval, nobody said anything, just that swift arrival of these individuals, guns are blazing. How would it be? How would it feel like when you interfere into the sovereign nation? But the presidency has said that there was an SOS message from Benin Republic sent to them. They were asked to actually assist. Now, we all know what happened in Benin Republic, right? How there was an unconstitutional extension of the tenure of the current president. Obviously, the people were not happy about it, and it was obviously going to heat up the polity. Well, we're going to look into all of that theatrics. Now, because of that, Wole Soyinka said the president ought to have sent, or rather the president's son ought to have been sent with the troops to Benin Republic. You don't overdo things. Now, he gave a clear picture of the kind of security detail that accompanies Sheyi Tinubu. Let's take a listen to him.
Tinubu didn't have to send the Air Force and the military to deal with this particular insurrection, this threat to our own sense of security and equilibrium. No, there are easier ways of doing it. Let me tell you where Tinubu should have looked for forces to quell that insurrection. Right here in Lagos, right here, or in Abuja perhaps, I don't know. But there was no need to call the military or the Air Force. I'll tell you what happened. On one of my home visits, this about 2 months ago, I was coming out of a hotel and I saw what looked like a film set. And I said, oh, they're shooting a film. That was on the grounds of this hotel. And a young man detached himself from the actors, came over and greeted me, very polite, very nice young man. And I said, are you shooting somebody? I said, I'm just joking. Are you shooting a film? He said, no. And I looked around. There was nearly a whole battalion occupying the grounds of that hotel, in Ikoyi, right here. So I got back in my car and I asked the driver who that young man was. And he told me. And I saw this SWAT team, a mixture. They were at least heavily armed, at least some 15 or so heavily armed to the teeth security personnel. Looked sufficient to take over a small country, neighboring city like Benin. And I think the next time the president should just call and say, Sheyi, go and quell the rebellion over there. I was so astonished that I started looking for the National Security Advisor. I said, track him down for me. I think they got him somewhere in Paris, but I was with the president. He was at a meeting. And I said, I've just seen something I can't believe, I don't understand. And I described the scene to him. I said, do you mean that a child of the head of state goes around with an army for his protection or whatever? I couldn't believe it. Later on, I did some investigative journalism. And I inquired, and I found that apparently this is how this young man goes around with his battalion, his heavy armed soldiers. Of course, the road was cleared before his car went out. I stayed until it seemed he was leaving. So next time there's an insurrection, I think the president should just call that young man and say, go and put down those stupid people there. You have enough troops under your command, so don't bother me with all these security issues any longer. Let's not overdo things. This is not the first country that has a head of state. It's not the first country whose head of state has families. And I think children should know their place. They are not potentates. They're not heads of state. And the security architecture of a nation like this suffers some injury and alienation when we see such a heavy devotion of security to one young individual. You'll excuse me, but...
All right, that was Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, speaking at an event yesterday in reaction to what transpired in Benin Republic, and he was saying that the battalion of security detail attached to Sheyi Tinubu is something that is quite worrisome. He says, how can the son of the president have such a security detail? And in the process, the president has ordered ministers to get presidential clearance for police escorts. He has also asked that, along with the VIPs, police escorts should be detached from the ministers. And since that time, most of the senators and most of the ministers have been calling out that the president should review that directive. For example, the president, after the first time, restated and ordered the IGP that there should be no police escorts attached to VIPs. He's calling for full deployment against kidnappers. So all the police escorts to ministers and VIPs should be detached from them. Now, the senators called out and said, we cannot feel safe to carry out our constitutional duties. And we have foreign nationals here whom are ascribed, escorts, military escort or police escort. Why can't we, the ministers, have escorts? Well, I think that generated quite the conversation and the buzz. The ministers were not happy about that. A couple of Nigerians were saying that's a good thing the president did. Let these ministers know what the common man is going through in the communities being ravaged by Boko Haram, ISWAP, and terrorists pervading most of these communities across the nation. Well, in that particular regard, the president has said if the ministers want any police escort, they should get presidential clearance. In other words, you must write to the IGP, you must write to the presidency, tell them the wherever it is you're going to, how important it is, and the need for whatever police escort is required. There's going to be protocol, there's going to be a process before you get any access to any supposed preferential security detail. Now, interestingly, there is an expose about how a former chief of army staff was assassinated. I'm sure you remember retired Major General Danjuma Ali Kefi. He is a former head of the covert operations service-wide, and he made an explosive allegation that the death of former chief of army staff Lieutenant General Atahiru Ibrahim on May 2021 wasn't a mistake. According to him, he said internal hostility, operational sabotage, and high-level corruption. You recall that he indicted the former CBN governor, he indicted the former chief of army staff Tuku Borotai, he indicted the former attorney general of the federation. While not directly linked to them, but persons who are close to them are, suspicious to be involved in financing terrorists. Now, apparently, Lieutenant Atahiru and as well as Lieutenant General Tahiru, late now, and 10 other military personnel died in a crash in an aircraft near the Kaduna International Airport runway. Now, according to what Ali Kefi detailed, he said there is huge basis for suspicion that the injuries sustained by the victims were inconsistent with a typical plane crash. He said that the bodies were flung far from the point of impact, and the injuries on some victims, such as Major Nura Hamza having his legs blown off from the knees down, suggested a blast occurred inside the cabin, which resulted to the aircraft crashing. In contrast, he said that the bodies of 2 pilots reportedly showed no burns. Now, normally when a plane crashes, there's a burn. All right, it explodes, and the bodies inside will be beyond recognition. But that the pilots in there were strapped to their seats. They remained strapped to their seats, which he attributed to the armored or steel door separating the cockpit from the cabin. Now, he said that the authorities should examine the black box of that particular aircraft, and that they should order a forensic audit of funds and equipment in the army, which was scheduled to act on the findings on that particular investigation carried out on the May 24, 2021, when that aircraft crashed. He said that the team observed massive amounts of funds meant for the counter-terrorism campaign being diverted into private pockets. And Major late General Atahiru Ibrahim found out about this, that monies meant were being diverted. In fact, I think he boldly responded to the Senate. He addressed them by boldly saying that it was a cash cow for them. The monies were transferred directly to their pocket, were being diverted to their pockets. Obviously, he riled up some persons who did not want some of the activities exposed. And according to Ali Kefi, he said, based on the investigation and intelligence gathered, he said that somebody tipped off Shekau at the time, and Shekau fled from where they got intelligence that he was. And late Atahiru found out that there were moles in the military, top senior persons. Then there were complaints that they were also into a lot of diabolism, that Atahiru was dreadful. Whenever he referred to certain persons, he doesn't call their name, he says that man, and that he warned Ali Kefi to be careful of certain individuals, that they were seriously into diabolism. He divulged quite a lot, and so because of that, he said that was what elicited them to get on to the journey where they were in that aircraft that landed and crashed. But he said it did not crash. There was a bomb inside the aircraft. That bomb detonated close to when the aircraft was meant to land. So it would seem like it was an accident, or an air accident, or something happened. Now, since 2021, they didn't tell us the details of the black box. They refused to divulge what happened. anytime there is a plane crash, normally you have the Bureau of Investigation who investigate what happened. No investigation was carried out. The whole matter was sealed. He took up that investigation, gave a detailed report, and up till today, this very present moment, nothing came out, which exposes quite a lot of happenings within the military, providing intelligence to terrorists right now that have circulated the nation. Well, like I said, there's a lot to discuss this evening, but let me introduce my guest today in the studio. I have right here with me Mr. Elvis Elimehele. He's a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Mr. Elvis Elimehele is a journalist of over 3 decades, and obviously he'll be giving us his insight this evening. Mr. Elvis, good evening.
Good evening, Esther.
Thank you for joining us
this
today.
This country is a tale of stories every day.
Matano de finish.
You know they finish.
At all. And I have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, you are owing me an empowerment scheme, an empowerment gift. You are owing me a serious one. Sugar against them, to be very precise.
Full one, size.
Full size.
Ready sugar.
Mr. Lawal, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Mr. Elvis Elimehele. Let's start off with Ibrahim Atahiru late. Are you shocked with what was exposed?
No, I'm not shocked. I know too well that the death of that chief of army staff was questionable. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's like an abracadabra thing. The more you look, the less you see.
Is this coming up now because of House of Rep members Riley Moore, who has asked the Nigerian government to be more decisive in handling insecurity?
Yes.
So if the US had not done what they did, we wouldn't have heard anything about this.
It is the US that came in. There is an external body now. That's why people cannot speak. Otherwise, you know what it means. This is a retired military, abruptly retired military officer.
He was kept on the dungeon for 64 days.
He was in the system and he knows, what goes on in the system. Everybody knew the zeal Atahiru put into fighting terrorism when he was made chief of army staff. Everybody also knew how his tenure was cut short by that plane crash. Today, nobody told us what happened. Imagine, you just said, Accident and Investigation Bureau is still a very functional department in Nigeria today, in aviation, that always tell us this is what happened, even if it's after 2 years. They will first of all give you a preliminary report, then they will now give you a decoded report from the black box and all that, and say, okay, this is exactly what happened. This is 4 years, Esther, since 2021. We've not heard what happened in that crash.
Mr. Elvis.
Involving senior military officer as high as
very superior
chief of army staff.
Mr. Elvis, let me read out Ali Kefi's words. General Atahiru narrated how a theater commander he had intelligence reports indicating that Shekau was hiding in a location in Maiduguri. Being conscious of the fact that the army headquarters had effectively hijacked control of Operation Lafia Dole, he called a superior at army headquarters and informed him of the intel. He, Atahiru, said the reaction of the superior, as he could perceive from their WhatsApp audio conversations, this same WhatsApp, which was used to pinpoint the location of General Buba. Uba, General
yes,
Uba.
I was
now,
just kidding.
again, that's the means of communication. They still communicate with that. And this is basically what happened. So he says he could perceive from their WhatsApp audio conversations was of shock and incoherence. The person, the superior person at Tahiru called, that the person seemed shocked and he was incoherent. He said the superior said he would call him back. When he made mention that they knew the location where Shekau was, that one was, surprised. Was, oh, really? Oh, okay, I'll call you back. He says to his surprise, a message was sent to him from the army headquarters in clear, not through a secure means of communication, that Shekau had been located in Maiduguri and the TC was directed to capture or eliminate him. Now, for Atahiru, he was surprised because that kind of conversation was not meant to be coming through an insecure channel or an open channel. It was supposed to be very discreet. As he called somebody and coded, but no. Something that was via WhatsApp, you put it in a channel that is not secure and that you broadcasted that Shekau was located somewhere. And that was not the official process for communicating such an information. Now, unsurprisingly, after that, Shekau fled the location before the troops arrived, which made Atahiru to suspect that he, Shekau, was tipped off. He nonetheless faulted General Tahiru for not carrying out the raid before informing the army headquarters that he did not mention that to Atahiru. So according to what Ali Kefi is saying, that Atahiru ought to have raided that place before informing the army headquarters, because he was actually the chief of army staff. It was under his jurisdiction to make a decision at that point in time, but he wanted to inform his team, and that was exactly how Shekau was tipped off and left. They also complained that when Shekau fled, that it's not surprising because he felt that Atahiru wanted to impress the headquarters with what he had found out. Maybe that was why he made that disclosure so soon. But then Atahiru warned him to stay away from a particular retired senior officer whom he suspected of engaging in harmful or diabolical activities. And Ali Kefa says it is still ongoing within the Nigerian army. Now, Mr. Elvis, if the U.S. military is already gathering intelligence, how do they trust the Nigerian team not to tip off the terrorists?
That's the big question, because we heard too well that when the Chibok girls were kidnapped, the US said they were coming to assist Nigerians, and they came and did their surveillance, and they saw the position, the location of these Chibok girls, and they were coming up and gas that place, smoke it with gas, so that everybody will sleep, and they will remove the sergeant and pick out the guests. But before then, when they were coming, they now discovered that the insurgents were now gotten gas nose mask that could prevent them from, even if they release the gas, it will not work. They have to turn back. Somebody leak information. Even the Brigadier General Oba that was killed that day, we heard that he was still able to communicate with his via
the same WhatsApp.
And say, okay, my battery is getting low, but I'm in so location. Who revealed it? That the insurgents now went to that location and picked him and killed him in such a gruesome manner. This is the issue.
Zagazola Makama was trying to blame the press that they amplified it, and that was how the terrorists knew there was a big fish.
That was a big fish somewhere. Somebody revealed it. This is why I keep telling you, Esther, that the northern bigwigs know exactly what is going on with the insurgency in Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
That they are asking for 50 billion naira to tackle insecurity.
Forget about it. Don't forget about what we see, what we hear on. I mean, they come up with a conference or seminar, or whatever, and be confusing Nigerians, try to gaslight Nigerians that they are following Nigerians to fight insurgents. These bigwigs know what is going on. Esther, these children that were just released, 100 that were just released yesterday, these children were fed for this number of days. Who is supplying them food? These children were clothed, they were housed, they drank water, they took their bath, even to get soap, ordinary bathing soap for this number of children. Esther, have you not seen the big market that is behind this insurgency in Nigeria? Who do you think? Do you think you and I can sponsor that market? Do you have the means? Do I have the means? The big men in Nigeria today, across all board, whether those who are dining with the president, the politicians, the lawmakers, the retired military generals and all, they know exactly the sultans, the emirs, they know exactly where the foundation of this insurgent, they know how it's being sponsored, they know those that are behind it. The truth is that they don't want it to end. If they want it to end, they know what to do. It has become a big market. They ride motorcycles. These motorcycles are imported into this country
in droves.
These motorcycles, Esther, we don't manufacture them here. They are imported in. They pass through the border and go into the bush to meet this insurgent. These motorcycles are fueled daily. Do you know the number? Do you know the amount of liter of fuel that they use in powering these motorcycles? Nobody is asking how is this fuel getting into the bush.
Or the weapons that they're using.
I'm even coming to weapons. These are even trivial things, Esther. How is this fuel getting into the bush that they use to power this motorcycle? They move in to commit these atrocities. Nobody is asking. Then I don't even want to talk of the AK-47 these guys brands. AK-47, I mean, those people that know how much gun costs, it's not less than, it's almost like $1 million.
They carry something that is more sophisticated than AK-47.
Carry RPG.
Yes. Did you see how they raided the military camp?
Yeah, they only told that they have drones now.
Did you see the camp where they raided lately?
Yes.
Where there was no casualty. Did you see the RPG that they were using from a distance that they used to decimate the military cantonment? Did you see it?
Nobody is asking all these questions. Then, Esther, let's even come back home. These guys are trained with all these sophisticated things they use. Who trained them? Where did they get the training from? Who goes into the bush to train these guys? So it's a big cartel that the federal government of Nigeria, if not that America has come to make mention, America has come in. we were living in a very dark world. The people who pretend to be protecting us are the people that are also killing us.
Mr.
That's how
Elvis,
it is.
With what you're saying now, Sheikh Gumi said yesterday that Nigeria will not be able to resolve this insecurity.
Because he knows the number of people that are involved.
He sounded so certain.
Yes.
He said unless they negotiate.
This Gumi that have been saying all these things all this why have the Nigerian government not have the guts to pick him up and say, okay, the more for this that you know so much about this insurgent, come and tell us what how do you know about it, who and who is feeding you.
Sheikh Gumi said he divulges whatever he knows to the federal government, that the last time he was with them in 2021 thereabout, he went in company with top military officials to go negotiate with his terrorists. He said at the time they were not yet proscribed, they were bandits, and so they were negotiating. But when the federal government proscribed them, then he stopped. He said he didn't go in there alone. He went with officials of the government. So in other words, they know. They know where they are.
The government knows the people. You know there was a time Jonathan's former president Jonathan said Boko Haram had infiltrated his government. Every rank of this government, whether in the economy, in politics, whatever, these guys are there. I just read out now. Some of these camp functions, they fell sick in the camp. Do you know they also fall sick?
Yes.
Even sometimes they are injured through gun shootout. They have doctors that treat them. They have drugs that goes into the camp to take care of these guys.
And they threaten the community members
Are you not seeing that there is another country inside the country that belongs to the insurgents living inside Nigeria we call our country, which means everything we do in Nigeria as a country also function within the insurgent world in the bush. So Esther, do you not think that a government that is serious don't know what to do? I thank God that America came in. That's why even this retired general can even be revealing some of these things. We all knew that how Atairu's leadership as the chief of army staff was cut short.
No, the presidency had to allow this come out, because what Trump said when he restricted some institutions from having access to the US, and he also mentioned that some ministers and governors too will no longer be having access to the US, because according to what Trump said, he said the government knew that these guys were also into supporting or financing or having some form of empathy towards those who are perpetrating this terrorism. That when that happened, there were also questions about the UAE sending names of terrorism financiers, BDC operators. And since then, the federal government knew, they refused to divulge the names. It was when the US felt that the government of the day was supporting the activities of these terrorists that they now realized that they needed to release the names.
Yes.
So they brought out the names. The institution and Ali Kefas, who was in charge of Operation Service-Wide, now had to openly come out and give details.
Because he's feeling like he's protected to some extent now. That's why Ali Kefas is there, because he has seen
he was asked to. He was threatened away from the military. He was kept in the dungeon, I think, for more than 64 days. And even the president at the time said, you report directly to me. But the chief of army staff, then Borotai, impeded any further investigation and literally cut him off. So, a threat to his life, he stayed away and did not utter a word to anybody. He came and wrote to President Tinubu after he was inaugurated in 2023 about the whole entire investigation, but that he did not get any feedback up until now.
He's speaking now because at least we have seen America come in to come and start assisting us to get the truth of this matter. Everybody that knows where the insurgency began in Nigeria until where we are now should be able to come out and speak now, because this matter is no longer within the Nigeria government circle any longer. The international world is interested and everybody wants to get to the truth. The truth of the matter is that they should also empower Nigerian government, even if they don't have the political will to try these people and bring them out. Let Trump also give such condition that everybody that is mentioned, that will be mentioned maybe in due course, must be brought to book and must be seen in Nigeria court, as well as we have also seen in Adukanu all this while. We have to see more so that we know exactly that we have what we are facing now, that we are ready at this time to fight this insurgent to a standstill.
Mr. Lawal Kundayo, 9 women who were protesting in Lamodi community in Adamawa State were shot by military men who were accompanying a senior military official. The military's attitude towards the whole thing was that it was militias that did that, but the community members said they were not militias, they were the military. this same military are the persons that have found it quite difficult. Either they know what to do, or somehow there's a political backing to prevent them from doing what needs to be done. Why the quick action on civilians and the let me not use the word nonchalancy, resistance when it comes to terrorists?
You mean the
Nigerian army, the quick action to throw arms to shoot at civilians, very quick, very swift, very fast.
Like the one that happened in SARS? Have you forgotten?
And SARS, even
or
the situation,
the intervention in Benin that is so effective like
let's even speak of here.
But when it comes to
swift.
Nigeria, they begin to give us excuses and tell us so many.
There was no even excuse. I'm telling you that they shot at this women protesting without. They didn't even use a tear gas, something to disperse them. Live rounds, women unarmed protesting. They haven't said anything as to what punitive measures will be granted on them. We've not heard anything from the presidency condemning the act of these guys. They're making it seem as if there is a community clash, a communal clash between communities, and that it was a militia that did that. No compensation whatsoever. Just like that, something avoidable. I'm asking you, why do we have our military impede or come down heavily on its citizens and then carry out restraint when it comes to terrorists?
It's because Nigerian, like I used to say, that the Nigeria we have is made up of two Nigeria. The Nigeria of the elite and the Nigeria of the common people. So when it comes to the common people, it's not something so important. They just look at it as well. But when it affects the elite, you see the way they run around. Like that thing Trump. So, when Trump wants to act, that's even Americans fear him, even across the world, because they know when he wants to act, he simply acts. They were afraid. They know that when Trump acts, it's going to affect the elite. That's why you see all this scattering all over the place. It's because they know that it's going to affect them. Had it been it's going to affect the masses, they will not care. Because we have this master-slave relationship that is going on in Nigeria. When it comes to the masses, okay, look at that issue of NSAS. We keep seeing things like that. The president went to Benue and said, we are the suspect. And then, because when it involves the masses, it is something like, well, this we will look into it later. But when it comes to them, they take it so seriously. You think, yes, this is Nigerian government at work. That is what I see about all this. This is not new. It's across board. Is it DSS? Is it SSS? Is it police? Is it mention them? That is the way they behave. Even when you get to offices, public offices, it's still the same thing. They will expect bribe. Preferential treatment. You see, it happens. So, and this thing still. But I love when you mention this issue of what happened in the House of Assembly. Now, some of them are waking up. They are trying to wake up because that is where decisions to protect Nigerians, the true Nigerians, the masses, that is where decisions are.
But Syracuse Dixon was shut down.
That's what I'm saying. That
Akpabio,
some of them, they are trying to come up.
Said that no, that matter is closed. You don't bring it up. He tried to debate it because everyone sees the Senate as a rubber stamp. But they were saying that no, it's not up for debate. We were meant to acknowledge
because
it.
They look at us. This is the norm. This is where we do it. Normally, we just dance to the tune of the executive. Why? Because anything we want, they give us. So we have to give them what they want. That's the system. Normally, in an assembly, you get it in this National Assembly or Senate or whatever. Go and look at the way it is done all over the world. The head, like Speaker or Senator, the Senate President, doesn't interfere when the House is discussing. His own is a moderator. He doesn't talk. Go and look at the way it's done. That's where it's done all over. It's only in Nigeria that the Senate President will be the one talking.
All right, Mr.
Why the others will keep quiet?
Please give me a minute. Mr. Elvis, I want to understand something. In the case of Benin Republic, it was to sustain democracy, right? The president felt it was his imperative, based on what ECOWAS suggested, that Nigeria should send some military troops there to ensure that the democracy there is sustained. The president then wrote to the Senate asking for approval, immediate approval. Was there any means for a debate on that? Because what Godswill Akpabio is saying, this is not open for debate. It is open for us to assent to it, and it is what is meant to be done constitutionally. Was Akpabio right in this regard? when Seriaka Dixon wanted to debate or talk about it?
It depends on the tone of what the president sent in. The president sent in that he just need their own consent.
You wanted an express approval.
And their consent that to deploy military down to. You see, sometimes they look at it like an emergency. In 2003, we had similar issue when the president of Sao Tome and Principe visited Nigeria under Obasanjo. He was in Nigeria in July 2003, and a coup took place in his country, and he was removed. So the news got to the villa, and Obasanjo said, "Come, sit down. You are not going home yet. That will not fly." He had to send Nigeria troop down to Sao Tome and Principe and bring out the young man, Major, who led that coup. I said, "Come, it will not work." You understand? This is not even a West Africa thing. Sao Tome and Principe is in Central Africa.
Yeah.
That's
under African Union.
Yes, under Africa Union. Obasanjo did that single-handedly. It's not even under. It's not. It was that country is colonized by the Portuguese government. Colonized it. Obasanjo did that, and immediately he restored it, and he took the president down and restored him to power. So sometimes some presidents take this kind of actions to safeguard some certain issues. What Tinubu sent was trying to get from the Senate is the troops are already going there. I just need you to just like append that you are aware I didn't bypass you. But it's not as if I am coming to ask for debate. Sometimes they look at ECOWAS treaty. I don't know what ECOWAS treaty says in such matter.
I think ECOWAS actually commended the president.
Yes, whether it has to go through debate and approval and other front, because it's like an emergency thing. Emergency don't wait.
Okay, so that means Seriaka Dixon was not meant to debate anything in that context.
I have a contrary opinion.
I don't know why already they have already approved it because Seriaka Dixon came up that it needed to be debated. I don't know where he was.
There were talks that some of the senators were not aware.
They were not aware.
Maybe
and that was why he was not aware.
Yeah, yes. And that was why a couple of them were what are we consenting to? It was later he realized and was like, okay, what are we consenting to? Why they express approval? Why don't you debate it?
So many express approval from this Senate since they came into power.
Like the state of emergency in Rivers,
the national anthem and others.
Yeah.
I need to say something. One, when you bring something to the house, you brought it for debate and deliberation. That's the first thing. If you don't need them to debate it, you don't bring it to the house. That is the purpose of the house.
Okay, so
Mr.
Lawal, this was not meant for a debate. It was meant to just go through the constitutional process.
No. Okay. When the moment you bring it to the house, you have brought it for deliberation.
Okay.
Not an appending of signature or stamp. If you need that, you don't need to come at all. So the moment you bring it there, you have brought it. Now that is why sometimes I'm coming. I'm coming. Wait.
Like he did in the state of emergency.
See, some things are not right. We just say it as it's normal. Now let me tell you something.
What is the constitutional requirement?
One thing is this: I'm coming. When the border, if the sovereignty of Nigeria, our safety is being threatened, the president act automatically and then submit the request to the house thereafter for further action. Okay. But the immediate action, if our border is threatened, doesn't need the house. It can move immediately. Then later, it will now request for further sustenance of that action. Are you with me? Now, second, this issue, you are moving into another country, another sovereignty. Have you forgotten? It's not the border anymore. If you want to protect the border, you can bring in your military and safeguard the border, or maybe you suspect. This is an internal case of Benin of Benin Republic.
Let's be appropriate in the context of the situation. So because we're educating ourselves here, so it doesn't seem as if we're misinforming.
Educating the people.
We're educating the people. We're educating ourselves. So let's be appropriate in the process. What the presidency said was that an SOS was sent to them for those fighter jets that were sent
to cross another person's border into another person's country.
That is what the presidency said, and they swiftly took that. 2, Nigeria is part of ECOWAS. So I think ECOWAS also asked Nigeria to send troops down to Benin Republic. But obviously there are processes and protocols to this. If they tell the president to do that, the Senate needs to be involved. Where the conflict of interest is there are talks that when the military takeover was happening in Benin Republic, that it was Macron that asked the president to do what he did by sending those fighter jets very swiftly. That is
Esther,
what that is how
I
the
seriously
Western
doubt that.
that's how the Western media.
That is what we heard in the media.
Yes,
that's
what the Western media.
Western media said. There was a call from Macron to President Tinubu. We heard that.
See, Esther, let me.
We have also seen in 2017 in Gambia when Yahya Jammeh refused to leave office after he lost that election. We also saw what late President Buhari did. President Buhari immediately dispatched Nigeria Air Force and military to go and flush out Jammeh for Adama Barrow to take over. And that took place. We have also seen that.
See, I have asked you a question. I said, in a sovereign country.
That's a sovereign nation.
Yes, a sovereign nation. So if now...
Nigeria is a treaty to democracy in the world. To safeguard and protect democracy. So
no, that's not see
as like a big brother.
No,
okay, let me ask you something. Hold on,
Hmm.
Mr. Elvis Ali Mehele, is the president in Benin Republic constitutionally meant to be there?
If
the Benin president,
yes,
is he constitutionally meant to be there?
To be
currently now, you know that an election was just concluded.
You know, Benin Republic is going to have an election in.
You don't understand what he's saying. She's saying constitutionally or Benin Constitution.
The president of Benin, remember he did an extension of his tenure.
Yes.
And
no. Extension. Those are the things we should be addressing here, Esther. These are the things that are bringing the problem. These are the things I'm saying ECOWAS should even talk to themselves. ECOWAS leader, if they're actually sincere to themselves. What is actually leading to some of these things? All this unnecessary extension.
Is that democratic?
It's not democratic. We are just Gbagbo. Alassane Ouattara sworn in on Monday, 4th term. Is that constitutional? These are the things that lead to some of these things we are seeing.
ECOWAS said that there is a state of emergency in all West African countries, all their communities.
Yes, they have just done that.
Yeah.
This state of emergency to be used to address this unnecessary sit tight in office by these disgruntled African leaders who just come in and now made that place as if it's not a shrine for them. They are now a priest to that shrine and no other person should come in. Gbagbo had this problem in Côte d'Ivoire. It led to civil war. French government came and flushed out Gbagbo for Alassane Ouattara to have a position to come into office. Alassane Ouattara has come in now. He has done. This is the 4th tenure. He just sworn in on Monday. Nigeria vice president was there to represent Tinubu. Is that part of ECOWAS mandate? Is this that the president and now come in? You now shift the constitution aside and now elongate your tenure and now bring it into constitution that you can now begin to remain there like a priest in a shrine. It's not done.
Mr. Elvis, let me ask you something. If we had fighter jets that could go to Benin Republic that swift and do what they did, why has there been a stalling in routing out terrorists?
But the former defense minister have just told you that our bomb cannot penetrate where the soldiers are. So probably he cannot penetrate in Benin Republic. He cannot penetrate.
He said he was misquoted. That statement wasn't true.
That was what
that he was taken out of context.
That was what we heard. So probably our own bomb can land in Benin.
No, I wanted to ask. I didn't know we had fighter jets and pilots who can be swift, precise, and sweet. See, in handling things like this.
This is why I keep telling you that this war, this insurgency we are fighting in Nigeria has a meaning. We just did that. The same Nigerian Air Force and Nigerian soldiers that cannot fight the same insurgency in Nigeria here, which means this precise. You see what they did? They said it was precise and concise, which means there were no external collateral damage. Nothing. But they were only after those coup plotters.
Yes, the coup plotters.
That means they carried out their mapping as with such an emergency, in
a short time,
and they could get their target. But we have been fighting insurgency for 16 years now. they cannot get their target. They cannot carry out appropriate mapping, precise.
And they're always using more of ground troops instead of using kind of fighter.
You can even use ground troops. That's not even the issue.
But before you use ground troops, normally you should have demoralized your enemies. You don't and not send the ground
troops.
If you look at the way these terrorists, even the way they operate, you see that they are so easy. They are easy target for Nigerian army to take out. Because they ride motorcycles.
Mr. Lamau, do you hear that the US said we have 32 different terrorist organizations?
No, because they are not making things. It's not like a business. What I said, it's not like a business. It's business. You get so like you have your business company here, you have your company there.
Say, okay, we are forming our own camp. Because in Zamfara alone, do you know how many camps are in Zamfara state? As we speak? But let us just be thanking God that in 2025 we are seeing a different version in what we have been going through. That the American government came in.
In fact, thank God for America for Trump.
It will remain like this.
It will
get
worse.
The American government came in, and that's why we are even seeing a grain of light coming in. Esther,
they are still in Nigeria. They are visiting the IDP camps.
You just made mention of the Atahiru, former chief of army staff that was killed. Have you forgotten General Azazi? Who also died in the similar aircraft.
He was in a vegetative state.
Just between Bayelsa and Rivers, he was killed along with Patrick Yakowa, former governor.
Patrick Yakowa did not die that day. He didn't die that day. He was in the aircraft.
I think it was
but
helicopter.
He was in a vegetative state. It was a helicopter.
Yes, it was a helicopter. So they flew the other helicopter together.
Yes.
Azazi died immediately.
Azazi
was NSA. National Security Advisor to Jonathan. So if you look at what has been happening in Nigeria, you discover that so many things have been happening that have been so shielded that we don't know what. The more you look at it, you will be getting migraine. So but let's all believe now that America has come into beam searchlight into what has been happening.
Well, Trump has told the U.S. military to get prepared for action against Islamist militants in Nigeria.
Most Nigerians are also happy about it.
Yeah.
And most Nigerians
compared to some northern people you talk about that sponsor some protests in the north against Trump and burn American
flag. Deliberately misinformed.
Yes, I know now. It's just a sponsored. That's one of those things you are saying that it's a business to them.
Those kind of people
that
did that, are they not supposed to be picked up?
Yes.
Are they not supposed to be picked up? They're supposed to be because we are talking about, are they really sincere about what we are going through? If you are not protesting against America coming in, because that means you are celebrating the insurgency.
They were told that they were just coming to invade. And because they are practicing Islam,
now wait,
that was basically
somebody sold that dummy to them.
Yes.
The person that sold that dummy to them should be investigated.
Yes, now that's misinformation.
Should be investigated.
Moreover, you have problem of terrorism.
Some of these man that preach the wrong gospel on Fridays in their mosque, so they will tell you that is not what the Quran says. What the Quran says, let the right imam preach it, and those ones that are preaching the wrong one be picked up.
All right, we'll take a very short break, and the evening rush continues. You kindly stay with us.
Customer, welcome. What you want buy?
I want buy changeover. Cutout fuse and distribution board made of 100% heavy duty copper.
Oh, come, I get am. See, I'm here.
No, now I'm looking for Slatter Star J cutout fuse and distribution board, Nipo cutout fuse, Star J solar battery, inverter, MPPT controller, and solar panel.
But Oga,
don't worry. I know where to get them. Whether na Star J changeover cutout fuse, Slatter distribution board, Nipo cutout fuse, Star J solar battery, inverter, MPPT controller, and solar panel, Star J ceiling fan, sockets, all earthen materials. Make you no go do cover wise pan foolish show. Slatter Star J Indian product na #1 since 1961. Made of 100% heavy duty solid copper with no compromise. Available in all leading electrical shops nationwide. Slatter Star J na you Pico.
All right, welcome back. This is still the Evening Rush right here on Voice of the People, 92.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachiko, and I have right here in the studio Mr. Elvis Elimehele and Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, who've been deliberating quite a couple of interesting issues that is actually causing quite the conversation in the space. Mr. Elvis Elimehele, what do you think about what Nobel laureate said about the troops and the detail attached to the president's son? I mean, he's the first son, right?
I'm even happy that he came from the Nobel laureate. Nobel laureate is a family friend of.
Yes, I was surprised too.
I
could say that.
Yes, so if he can say that, he will not know that what Nigerians are saying about this his best friend, his friend that have named the National Theatre, and get after him now, and name one biggest street in Abuja after, So you now know that now Nigerians are saying, Nigerians are not speaking out of a contest.
Yeah.
Thank God he observed this. He saw this.
Yes.
He observed it and
He saw. In fact, he saw
with his eye, and now he opened his mouth and told Nigerians. The most important, since he's close to the family, he should be able to tell the family, we never voted Sheyi Tinubu into power. There is no constitutional, in the constitution of provision for the first son of the president.
First lady. There's
don't
nothing like
have it.
first lady.
And even the first lady, we don't have it. With the drama that played out in Ife some days ago.
Yes.
There's no provision for first lady in Nigeria constitution. So since they came into power, they have been behaving as if Nigeria is a banana republic. We had Obasanjo. Obasanjo had a larger family. President Obasanjo had a larger family than Tinubu's family. But we never saw President Obasanjo's children, took Castle Rock and made it like an extension of Otafan. We never saw it. So if since they cannot maintain discipline right from home, they are not transcended to the public. I thank God that the Nobel laureate saw that. Professor Onisa saw it.
Well, in regards to that, the president has told the National Security Advisor to immediately train and arm more forest guards. Already they're equipping. I'm sure you saw the Enugu forest guards.
Yes, I
yeah,
saw
they're already
that.
been armed. They're being trained.
That's some from Peter Oba.
Yes, yes, Governor Peter Amba. And other states are already adopting all of that to monitor the forest and not allow these individuals take place. But because of that, a couple of Nigerians are now wary of some Fulanis who reside in their communities. Once they see them in droves, a couple of them will say they are hunters, maybe with clubs or axes. You see someone videoing and say, God, these people are so many in our community. There's a kind of paranoia and fear about these individuals. How can that concept be corrected? Because it could lead to a mob attack. When people are paranoid and suspicious, and without wanting to understand the facts, they could attack these persons because of where they come from, because of the tag on them. When you say Fulani terrorists, is there a way that there could be a description to these individuals and not just term them? Not all Fulanese are terrorists. Not all of them are into terrorism. But that tag is dangerous, because even Rep. Riley Moore, writing about the experiences in the IDP camp, said they gave horrid details about the Fulani terrorists, the Fulani militia. On the international space, that's a dangerous tag. So what is the government not doing right? Because once you tag people like this, it's very dangerous and it's not good.
It is not the government alone. The Fulani, we have been hearing people speaking for them. We have Meti Allah that speaks. We have all the Fulani leaders should be able to come in and close rank with the government to actually sanitize the Fulani race and give reputation to their name. They can't. This is not the government that will do this alone. They have leaders. They have who is who. The Sultan is a Fulani person. They should be able to, and this is somebody they reverend and they respect so much. He should be able to now talk to his people and assist the government to bring out this riffraffs among them who have brought this name, this blacklisted name to them. That no, we must not continue with this name. Let us now also assist the government to sanitize our home. Bring out these terrorists. Bring out these riffraffs that brought this bad name. If you have a bad child. Yeah. And you want your family to have a good reputation. You have to, this is my son, but this my son is not behaving as he's a member of this family. Sometimes Nigerians even go as far as saying probably is a bastard. So all those ones that are like that in that race now, Fulani race, the Fulani leaders should assist the government to bring them out.
And another thing is that we have the normal Fulani that coexisting with every other person. We have those one that came as an insurgents But the problem
invited in by the former administration of Buhari.
In fact, even some of these traditional rulers are even part of it. But the thing is this: the coexisting ones are refusing to speak out against those ones who are actually perpetrating all this evil. That's why some people put them together, because that's why in Yoruba they use the word omale. That is somebody who comes from a family, but is now an outcast because of bad behaviors and everything. So people don't associate such a person to the family anymore. So by the time they start calling out these ones are not part of us, and you assist in apprehending them, and then you continue to coexist as you normally do. But if you don't do that, you keep supporting them, or you keep quiet, you say because they are together, then people will take you together.
Yes, and if they do that, that will also bring a good name to their own image. So if they are not doing that, which means they are shielding their bad brothers, commit crime against the state, and the state will also have to take the
even the community will do that. It's like a crate of eggs. In a crate of eggs, you have some bad eggs here,
you throw them
and
out.
the whole things are smelly. You didn't remove the bad. People will say that crate is not good now.
Wow. Now, there are talks that the APC is afraid of Abubakar Malami. Is that true?
Malami?
Yes. Who is being investigated by the economic and by the EFCC.
Why would they be afraid of him?
Basically for political reasons, because he's currently in the
ADC.
I think what they are trying to do is to cage him.
Really?
Because he used to be part of them.
He
left them. Yes, he left them. So in a way of trying to cage him and maybe rein him back, so they have to put some pressure
His
on
name
him.
was part of those listed by General Ali Kefas.
Yes.
Among those who are with financing insurgents. Is it possible for the Nigerian military to also, or the Nigerian government to also look for partnerships and assistance of other European countries, or what do you call this, Arabic nations, specifically those who are against terrorism, to assist them for reconnaissance, intelligence, and possibly how they can use tech to eradicate this guy,
Esther,
like what Israel is doing?
Esther, can I answer that question? Let me come in first. Do you know that some Middle East country have tried, but we didn't welcome them? They send lists now. Did they not send lists
of
yes,
UAE.
they send lists of they even send Gumi back to let you know that this person is not so what do we do?
Even Mamu,
they've been trying to help now. We are not allowing them.
Mamu that was arrested now in Egypt. Mamu, at least they also did that. But let me also tell you, we want to hear from Saudi Arabia too, condemning this act and also finding a way to assist Nigeria to actually bring out the good image of the religion. You understand?
Where is the headquarters of ISIS?
ISIS headquarters.
That's the main country that we know is financing ISIS. Which of those countries in the Middle East?
Is the America has fingered Iran in all this Iran. So Iran, that's even one of the reasons why America is saying Iran must not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. So I think most of these terrorists also have origins traced to Iran.
So you mean Al-Shabaab, Al-Banawi, ISWAP, and the likes of them, all of them, Hamas, all of them, basically by Iran.
To Araj and all, Al-Shabaab has practically crippled Somali.
I'm telling you.
Yes, they practically.
I mean, the US currently spoke in a derogatory form against Somalians recently, and the Somalians were calling out Trump for not saying certain things. In fact, Trump said, we don't want them in our country.
Yes.
There's an issue about Somalians adjusting. People think they refuse to be identified as Africans. They want to be looked at as the Middle Easterners, like the Arabic people. That's how the kind of perception they have, and there were complaints. The senator there was saying that what Trump said, he shouldn't have said that. But my conversation is this. If the UAE submitted those names, why have the government not asked for more intelligence partnership with them in routing out these guys, either through whatever financing processes or with tech or measures that they use to eradicate?
Yes.
So all those statements embody this. All those statements embody this insurgent, and his interest was not in fighting the terrorism in Nigeria, Buhari's regime. So that's what led to where we are today.
So
the decay was actually much throughout his 8 years, and part of those decay were what Tinubu inherited. But the only thing that why President Tinubu became an issue was that he never made any effort since he came into power to 2 years and 6 months now to say no, it must not continue like this. We now saw them festering so much killing and sacking of villages and I mean your ancestral home. You are now taken out of it, and the host is change the name of the village and now begin to reside there. So Tinubu just like, okay, let it remain as usual. That's where he got into trouble with where we are today.
Yes.
There are talks that Peter Obi could be moving to the APP. Do you see any possibility in that? Action People's Party.
One thing is this: all this Peter Obi is moving here, is not moving here, APC. Whatever. I don't. One thing is this:
APP.
It's
Action People's Party.
Okay, that must be that's one of the new parties. Anyway.
I mean, they're already, because the ADC, obviously, you've seen his reluctance to make any kind of commitment.
ADC is already taking over. Atiku can form a party and give the presidential ticket to another person. Forget about it, and that's even what will lead to the downfall of ADC. Go and mark it. It's already done. You are seeing him visiting everybody now. I think I just saw one video, like a photograph. He just visited former president. He's visiting everybody. He's already consulting. He's already moving around. So forget about it. If AOB, that's what I was saying. We're discussing this before we came into the studio, Esther. Let's see more of these little small parties at a certain level. We have seen the governor of Osun State now. He is defected to Accord Party.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
He avoided
at the time, President Tinubu was alone in ACN.
Yeah.
He kept it. Today he is president. Who says that another small party today cannot rise? Let's not even be looking at presidency.
Well,
let's have a sub-regional level.
Well, all of that is just mere speculation, because Peter Obi himself has not said anything whatsoever. Yunus Atanko was in on a very recent interview, and where he was able to talk about what the obedient movement is doing. Because of time, I may not be able to play out his the exact conversation that he had. But Bolaji Abdullahi was on News Central, I think yesterday or the
spokesperson of ADC.
Or the spokesperson of ADC, and questions were being asked. Why is Peter Obi stalling from joining? And Bolaji Abdullahi says, we do not know, because right now every other person has joined, but that they still believe that Peter Obi is still part of the ADC. He hasn't said otherwise to them. While Dati Baba Ahmed is still with the Labour Party in recognizance with Julius Saburi. We really don't know what is going on there. I can't explain it, but Dati Ahmed believes that the Labour Party can still deliver what it delivered in 2023.
Absolutely no.
In the process of this, as 2026 is approaching, we're going to create a segment in the Evening Rush where we're going to be having political banters of persons who support these different principles. We'll try to bring in different people and discuss the ideologies of these individuals, if there is actually an ideology that could surmount what is currently in place now, being rolled out by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and how it can work, how the system can break out of it. Gentlemen, to be honest with you, if we continue to discuss all these issues, we wouldn't even take any reaction or response from our listeners. So let's listen to them. In the process, we can introduce more of the conversations that I mentioned when I was starting off the conversation. ISWAP executed 2 Nigerian spies in their midst. They said they were providing information to the Nigerian military.
Nigerian military should not be discouraged. We need so much of such spies into these various insurgents.
Do you know the problem? The problem is not about the spy. The problem is the spy being spied inside where they are working. That's the problem. Because for ISWAP to be able to discover that they have spied here, there must be somebody, revealing to them true, that's getting information. When those spies give information to Nigeria military, that same person is giving the same information back to the ISWAP that this is the people who are doing it.
Well, Rena Mokri is lobbying presidential aid ahead of ambassadorial screening in the National Assembly. Already, it's how they do things.
It's so unfortunate that this is a rubber stamp Senate. Otherwise, Rena Mokri sailing through to become an ambassador to Nigeria with all the videos and everything he did against Tinubu when Tinubu was coming in. It's an aberration. It's just like a canter.
Does it not show that the president is a forgiving man?
That is not about forgiveness.
It's not about forgiveness.
That's what Rena Mokri wrote.
It's all about
in thanking the president.
What has he been saying that makes sense?
That's what I have. Saying thank you so much
Even called the president God Christ-like.
Yes.
What does that? What does all that mean?
He's not the only person. I mean, Daniel Bala, who is speaking for the president now, did.
But
that's what I mean.
For the president, but Orano Motu is going to represent Nigeria in another country. The same president he told the whole world that he's a drug baron. Now he's representing his government. As you look at us, Esther, this means we are like the people that are not serious.
Do you think the Senate will approve this man?
What, based on the antecedent of this 10th Senate,
yes.
I don't see anything holding him, because these 10 Senate have said whatever comes from the presidency, executive arm, is a done deal, says true. So I don't see it, except maybe another message will go behind us to the Senate.
Do you know that Reno
like
Mokri,
what happened in
Reno Mokri has?
Yes.
Do you know Reno Mokri has written comments with his platform that could have caused ethnic tensions? That could have actually caused a pogrom between the north and the east. Do you know that? Do you recall Biafran Day last year, during the celebration of the our heroes past, and of May some, yes, and Biafra Day too? Did you see that Reno Mokri wrote about the Kaduna Nzogu whatever and said it was the Igbos that killed the Hausas from nowhere, almost literally twisted, and it was a terrible thing to do at that time. So to become an ambassador, are those the kind of things you need to do to cause ethnic tension, to implode the country?
Yes.
No harmonization, all because you are supporting somebody.
What is he going to be selling to that country about Nigeria when he gets there?
The question we should ask is that, what quality does he have?
He has no. It's a political matter. He has
That's
no
it.
quality.
That's the problem. That's it. Nigeria here, everything to us is politics. No
so
competency.
Is looking at those. Is looking at people who
just compensating for talking whatever he's been saying so far.
Even compensating for speaking is against him.
I don't understand.
Mike Arnold wrote to the Senate, to the US, about Reno Mokri. What he is, the man who exposed him, the person that Reno Mokri bought to debunk the news about Christian genocide in Nigeria. The guy did that. The guy did a comprehensive documentary on Reno Mokri.
The presidency has that documentary.
Yes, and he warned the president not to try to give Reno Mokri any ambassadorial role. He said it to be detrimental and debilitating to the perception of Tinubu's government
and Nigeria.
Do you think that the president will listen to that?
It's not. If he listens, he won't have put his name in that list.
I don't even know.
I mean, I would have preferred the president to even look for a position to give him in Nigeria than to turn this type of person to go and represent Nigeria in another country. Do you know, ambassador is like the president of Nigeria in the country you are sent to.
And you know the way the press over there, you know the freedom they have to tear you into pieces. You know the freedom they have, no restriction. They will sit you down like this and they will make a mess of you. So for you to now they bring all these things out now.
Everything he said about president, he went to Chicago, read out everything. So today he's going to say that same person he was comparing with the former president, one of the former presidents in Colombia.
Yes, what is his name?
Oh, I forgot his name now. So at the end of the day, the same person now is sending it to be an ambassador in another country.
I wish he would send it to some place that European country. That's very good.
We are just jokers. We are jokers in this country, Esther.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take your input on the conversation this evening. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817 1756338 0817-1756338. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome. What's your name, please?
My name is Joshua. I'm calling from Akpabio.
Hello.
My name is Joshua. I'm calling from Akpabio.
Okay. Go ahead.
If people are being very good churches, and so my own contribution is that all Nigerians, anybody that has information, let them be relating to you. Those who can pray, let them pray. Those who have that sense to come on the air and speak, let them. Whoever is ready, is here hearing everything and is ready to help us, and we have to help everybody. Those who cannot contribute money, let them contribute prayers. Those who have information, let them forward this to you people. It will work.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank Thank you very much. 08036929933. 08036929933. Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Quickly do that. What's your name? Good evening.
My name is Ibe from Ilasa.
eBay from Ilasa. eBay, please go ahead.
Yeah. My listeners on were saying that Sherry is going with this what do you call it?
A or security details.
Yes. Is it very bad to so you can see in previous government? When police say any other thing to talk, they say Sherry and his security details. I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't know whether that man is getting too old. There are so many other things you're supposed to talk. You didn't talk about security. You didn't talk about any other thing. Security of.
Hello? That call went off. Sorry,
they didn't get what Wale Soyinka
some
was
of them
saying.
joined the program late.
He was talking about the security that those security is is reducing the security that are supposed to be used to protect Nigerians.
And then when the Benin situation happened, the battalion of the sons attacked
it's enough to take you out of that.
Some people joined the show very late. That's what happens. And then the misconstrue, yes. So I don't want to be rude. Hello, sir. It's 36929933. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, I like the last word you use. The trauma that they began for you to talk autocratic. Because you don't even know when your call is going to come through. So that is the reason for that radio I'm talking about. But thank you for maturity over that. Now, let's go back to the topic proper. The issue of people, we don't have to leave that for now. Because, true, I told President Darlington that not entertainment football they do. This one like a real game. These people get all of them get it. Even all of you that in that station. If you want to you get it. If you don't get it, then you vote for yourself. Yeah, of course. I don't do election during the other time. So it's like other time now, so I know what I'm talking about. But really, that is the problem that is there. So see the man. Okay, Darlington said what this man is said to do. So how do you think that people will do the party and hand it over to you? I said that they were talking about him that day. And they have repeated it. It's true. Then we now told the challenge and say, you go and build your own party. Look at what he said. At his stage, ACN was left with Tinubu alone. I said, we didn't have to run away. Do you understand? I followed that. You don't tell me now. You support it. You understand? This is the issue. Look at you opposite because one, the food soldiers when they make a politics, not even better. The song they are talking about to bring that so that people can mobilize. Nigerian people we are not ready for suffer yet. We may suffer, but we choose the kind of suffer when they suffer. If you tell people to travel from here to Port Harcourt to go and support you with leg, another person didn't go start up. My coaster then you went out. Nobody get time for that though. You will be out of it.
Aircraft. Another person.
All right, thank you.
Aircraft.
08036929933. That's the number to call. 08036929933. The WhatsApp number is 0817175633. 0817175633. Okay. Some persons are already sending their interest to come to the studio. Please write your name. Let me know who is your preferred presidential candidate, because we want to set up a segment on the evening rush precisely starting off January 1st, 2026. That is the year. That's disruptor year. I said people go shock. The things you're hearing now is going to be still. The disruption that's to take place, don't worry, you guys are gonna know about it. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello. Hello. Turn down the volume of your radio, please.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. This is Eje calling from Bagada.
What's your name?
Eje
from Bagada. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I love the program. I always try all the time, but I'm very happy to get you today.
Thank you.
Quickly, I just want to send a message to all Nigerians. I don't have much to say regard to 2027 election. all those that think that these I won't agree, but I just want everybody, like your resources, your wealth, everything, you support it because they can't rig like we that were in Lagos, like we are white. That our parents in the village, it's only them that can really manipulate. They can manipulate us again. So everybody should stand on his or her ground.
Hello.
That is only thing I have to say.
Everybody should find a means. Okay.
To stand on his or her ground.
Oh, okay. So that they will not be induced. All right. Okay. I think I get it now. 08036929933. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Yeah. I thank God for getting you today.
Okay. Welcome, sir. What's your name?
I want to say, tell me from Turkey.
All right, Tony from Turkey. Please go ahead.
I want to say something about that ambassador.
Oh, okay. Ambassador nominee list. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes. When I was looking at it, I discovered that there is, I don't know whether that list is from the president or maybe president is aware of it. Because somebody on that list have died since July.
It's
and the team appeared in this December.
See, it is not bringing
I mean, verify it very well. Somebody that the name have died since December, since July.
We're expressing.
And
but we also
the reason was released on this December.
It's not new.
Is he not aware of what is happening? If it happened again, there was one that happened this December, October. The announcement broadcast on that December. He honored some people that are against already.
So that even one of those
and two people are alive. Their names are there.
Posthumous for people that were.
Although the letter project.
Well, I think
you that all those things are not reaching President Trump.
No. Okay, thank you. That's a very valid question. Mr. Elvis, can you put us through the process when it comes to things like that? The president has a lot on his table. That's why the aides are there.
That's the failure of the secretary to the federal government. Yes. This and chief of staff to the president. These are the people that are supposed. These are the people that are supposed to have the last vetting before it goes out. So when you see infraction of this nature, they don't do their job. They don't know what their office entails.
Oh wow.
Yes. And something. In fact, if it was already, they'll just
they will be fired.
Yeah, immediately now. That's an embarrassment now.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam.
Welcome, sir. What's your name, please?
I am calling you from my papa. I greet everybody in the studio. Good evening, sirs.
Yeah,
Is this Robert?
Esther.
Yeah.
I cannot hear you clear, but I believe you are listening to me. I listened to Professor Wale Soyinka. I think the president is supposed to call his children to order. If I tell you cannot call them, let somebody call them to order, okay? Like we have the Yaloja in the Yaloja of Nigeria, something like that. Remember when this lady went to those states to install, I think a lady, something like that, and the Oba of Benin caution her. I mean, what we have seen other presidents that have ruled this country, and we don't even know their children. I know Iyabo or Obasanjo, just in newspaper, but physically, when his father was in, he did not take much active part in government. Jonathan we saw a lot of them. You understand? So I just want them, and the insecurity we talk about, the Northerners, please, I want to beg you people. If you people know these people that are doing this thing, call them to order now. Call them. Don't pretend as if you love Nigeria. You are using one hand to love Nigeria. You are using the other one to tap those guys at the back. There's no way they cannot tell us they don't know them.
All right,
you understand? This thing should stop. Everybody is tired. We are talking of killing of human beings, not animals.
All right,
thank you very much, Esther.
But Mr. Elvis, the security details attached to the president's son, Is it the son that decides what kind of details are attached to him, or the battalion of details attached to him, or it's from the?
It is what they call it now. This thing that it's eye service. Everybody that is there, they want to use the president's son to gain more favor from the president. Yes, because the president's family can be protected, but not this battalion. So whoever is releasing this battalion is just like, I want to do it for the president's son, so that will be in the good book from the president's son to the president. President Obasanjo had a larger family. None of his children was found in a Federal Executive Council meeting. Did you know Sheyi was in fake meeting some time ago that the father even had to reprimand him and said he doesn't want to see him in fake meeting again? That's part of, he has done that.
But there are talks that Sheyi Tinubu is protecting his father because of certain persons who may be poisonous to the dads.
I mean, is Tinubu not having a wife? He has a wife. What's the role of the wife, Esther?
Is it the wife that will protect him?
He
already has a match. He already has a system to protect him now.
But there are fears that those
which
in the
fear
system
again?
Esther, let's even believe that the system may be corrupted. You understand? But at the time, we had, whether official or unofficial, when the former president Obasanjo advised the former first lady, Auntie Pepe, my Auntie Pepe, Patience Jonathan, that he should mind who gives his how food gets to his husband and all that.
Yeah.
The president's wife is the biggest protector. I'm not saying God, he's not bigger than God. I mean, secure the husband, because employed staff can be corrupted politically and otherwise. But the president's wife is there. Can he do more than Sheyi that has his own family? Sheyi also has his own family. He has wife and children. So if there's no way to sugarcoat this matter, Esther. Let the president's son leave the corridor of the presidency. If he has a job, he would have been too useful to his job. It's like just doesn't have a job. Everybody is not doing the job of the president because the father is not the president. It's not done that way. If this guy was gainfully employed somewhere, he can't leave his job because his father has become president.
Right.
He can't leave. We have seen jobs.
Hello, good evening. Hello, Ibrahim. Fine. Speak louder. Your voice seems distant.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Ibrahim, welcome. Where are you calling from, Ibrahim?
I'm calling from also follow.
Alright, Ibrahim, go ahead.
Okay, now when the same fighter get to the Republic is wrong. And secondly, the son of the president, everybody gave one thinking and everybody gave one. Maybe there are some people they will come and they will show themselves outside. So this is their own time. Everything has time.
Okay.
Because a president son, you can monitor his body, and there's something when you know when his body is getting old. The man is a very president. Even GMD now, manager, when their son comes to work, they will show themselves in a very GMD. So we know how our mentality. So this is what this guy do. For me, it's a manner to we talk from now to tomorrow. So we do like that. So everybody gets his own things from me. But what I should do is send Nigeria fighters that to be benefit is wrong. So they live better.
Alright, thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you for calling. 0803692 9933 0803692 9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, good evening.
Hi, Esther, good evening.
Good evening, welcome. What's your name, please?
My name is Hugo from Lagos.
Alright, please go ahead.
I greet your guest there.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I want to ask a question, please. This issue of terrorism or this Boko Haram matter since over how many years to date? People from east, people from south, people from west are talking till date. Nothing has changed. I want to ask a question. Is it human being's life we are just talking about, or fowl's life are we talking about, or any other animals are we talking about? So they have become a reality that we are begging terrorists to negotiate with. Now the Kali was dead, life imprisonment. Now we are begging our people to live
Christians to leave people to live. It's uncalled for. American people came, northern people will not allow them to function the way they come to function. It's unfair. We are just playing with the life of people. Every time we gather ourselves in station now, talking in radio station, it's unfair. It's unfair. From January to December, issue of negotiation under bandits, talking about Tinubu and Nigeria. Whenever somebody get to the seat of president, then the country become its own. What are we talking about? Every time we just centralizing argument on people's life. Small time, if this does not take care of small time, you go to Lagos. So I'm telling you honestly speaking. And when you get to Lagos, people begin to know that this is reality. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for, very, very uncalled for.
Well, some things are happening in Lagos. It's just not reported like that. Petty kidnappings, one transport, all the things. It's actually happening. They need to even proscribe kidnapping. They should call it terrorism too, because kidnapping activities is taking place across other states. I mean, it's happening in the southeast. In fact, in the southeast, both Fulani headsmen, both unknown gunmen, even the soldiers I heard are also part of it. They kidnap people, extort from them. In some instances, they kill them, and they say that it's IPOB or ESN or whatever. So they should actually prescribe kidnapping, because it's become an activity that a lot of persons are into right now. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
good evening. Welcome. How are you?
My name is Chukwemeka.
Chukwemeka, where are you calling from, please?
Calling from Adana again.
All right, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
So I want to speak about the family that shoots the women that are being focused.
In Adamawa State, Lamar community.
Yes. So how maybe we go to repent Boko Haram. So whoever that is against them, the protection against them, so there must be the other is there for them to shoot. But it is for the Boko Haram to attack them, they say they have not given them the other. They do that. They should continue doing what they are doing. But the time was that they will try their economy. At least many people will see. They show the things they are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Elvis, why has the presidency not spoken on that? Or the governor of that state spoken on that dastardly act? Because they were accompanying somebody. They were accompanying a senior military guy.
The Brigade of Guards.
The Brigade of Guards. When they did that, couldn't they have used anything to disperse those women other than live rounds?
I mean, the women had...
they are just protesting. Can't they follow another place?
They were carrying green leaves.
Green leaves.
Yes. Can't they follow another place?
My issue right now, Mr. Elvis, is that since it happened, we've not had any direct statement.
Yes, from the federal government or even the state, or even the military issuing a statement on it. This is exactly what led to where we are today. When it happens, the federal government will say it was just a communal clash.
They have already said so.
They will just commonize
it's the militias. They've distanced themselves.
It was even that they were not protected, that the women were protesting against the military that was coming to raid them, that the government have not been protecting them. Then the government that they were calling their attention for their own protection came in and released live bullet on them.
It's something else. 080-3692-9933 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
My name is Friday.
Alright, Friday, can you speak up so we can hear you?
I would like to correct one statement on this program. You asserted that the Nigerian are involved in kidnapping also.
Hello?
I think you asserted that Nigerian security personnel are also involved in kidnapping.
There have been allegations of that in some areas.
Which I will really support them. That because I normally fly Nigeria every day of the week, and the men behavior are very good. But the people who are having issues with is the paramilitary people attached to them. Those special force or what, I don't know where they are. Because those people are not safe, so they are the ones expecting people on the road and involved in wicked activity, not the Nigerian military, because they have been always welcoming whenever I meet them on the road. So if you can separate that outfit from the Nigerian army or police, you
it will help us a lot because they do a lot. They see people battery, collect money from people, collect people's farm products, and sell them for money. Ask them why they're going to the bush. I've witnessed a lot, but it's not everything that you can report to your authority and to after them. Because most of these agencies, their lives are not going, their emails are not working, their offices are not working, no seat. So who do you think you can report to a rough environment? So please correct that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Can I agree the house?
Welcome. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Prince, calling from Satellite.
All right, Prince, please go ahead.
So the only thing I want to chip in this discussion is that this country, I don't know what is actually happening, because if you can say everything that is happening, these bandits that have been disturbing this Nigeria for over 16 years now, federal government can't tell me that our military is not capable to flush them, but they are playing games with the life of the citizens. So, well, the only thing I know is that one day all this thing will end.
Amen.
Because I believe nothing happens forever.
All right, thank you
everybody.
Thank you. 08036929933. 08036929933. That is the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening. Good evening, Esther.
Good evening. Please, what's your name?
I greet all your guests there.
Good evening, sir.
Work. My name is Abachi calling from Satellite Town.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sometimes it surprises me what happened in this country. It surprises me what happened in this country, that upon what is happening in this country, some people are still supporting this government. People are still talking about this government. The government are not protecting the lives of the people. They are not providing for the people. There are insecurity. There is hunger everywhere. And they are after 2027 election. It surprises me. I don't just know. I just pray that God will help us in this country. God has been helping us. But we, the citizens, we need to sit up this time around. In that election 2027, I think everyone needs to sit up. When you vote, you protect your vote. I don't want people to be demoralized, or maybe people don't want to participate in an election anymore. I believe that people's votes, God will count if people can stand to protect their votes. So that is just what I want to chip into this country. I just pray that God will help us.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. 08036929933. 08036929933. That's the number to call. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. That is the WhatsApp number. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, please? Turn down the volume of your radio.
My name is Mr. Machu. I'm calling from Okota.
My surname sake. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Machuku.
That's your brother.
What, really? Well, let me ring bell for you. Welcome, sir. Please go ahead.
What I want to say in this issue that you are discussing concerning these terrorists and all the rest of them. All I know is that Nigeria cannot be able to handle the issue of terrorism. If as America wants to come in and help them, let them allow them to come in and help Nigerians out of this. There is nothing wrong with America coming in to flush out all these people. Now, for instance, they went to Benin to go and help Benin people. Is it not the help they want to go and help them? So they should allow Americans to come and help us so that we can come out of all these problems. Then keeping all this lingering, practicing, doing this, doing that. So that is my own contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, good evening. Hello, turn down the volume of your radio, please. Hello, turn down the volume of your radio, please. Hello.
Yeah, good evening to all of you. You are doing a great job, honestly.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Boys.
This is Boyes and calling from Afromedia.
Well done.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I want to ask you, are you surprised that this rain or mockery that the Senate has cleared him? Are you surprised?
What? No.
If you are surprised, I'm not surprised. After all, the Senate President has told you, he has said it severally, that on your mandate we stand. So whatever the President says, it is automatically done. We shouldn't be surprised. Even if the President goes ahead now to bring an armed robber, even a condemned armed robber, and present his name to the Senate, sharp, they will just pass. I mean, that is what we're experiencing. Okay, look at the one say Tinubu. Thank God, Professor Soyinka is now talking. Can you see just one man?
You can't say he's just talking. No, I think it's because that they impeded him from moving that time from the hotel.
It is now they are beginning to talk. Don't be surprised that one day you wake up and hear Nigeria has become Tinubu. And I don't know. So what have you people got to say about this? I mean, the power is overreaching. So I need to hear from you. Thank you very much, because you are doing a very good job.
Thank you so much, Bowason. Thank you for calling. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. My name is Nura Musa Wagani.
Musa?
I'm calling from Nura, N-U-R-A.
Nura. All right, Nura, welcome. Please, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kirikiri, Lagos.
Wow, Nura, how is Kirikiri?
Kirikiri, Estate.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm driving home.
Okay.
The issue of insecurity is not something that we all see. It started about 10 to 20 years ago, and this is something that we allow it to escalate up to this stage. But, allowing other foreign countries to come into our nation, it is not, we're looking about the collateral damage. Because if you allow them, they will not come because they want to help us. Who do they have in this world? Do they have Libya? Do they have Iran, Iraq? Who do they have? All the countries that they went in the name of help, they will end up siphoning all their resources and they left. And that country will never be the same again. See, we that God has brought us together as a nation, let us sit at home, think about our problem, resolve it in-house. I know every beginning has an end. One day we will wake up and see that this is all will come to a pass. But the truth of the matter is, we are suffering. We are suffering, especially we that are from the north. We are the ones suffering most because the ravage of Boko Haram to the bandit to all these military kidnapping and also with you. 90% of people suffering of this insurgency is in the north. Now you can't go to farm, you can't do anything. But what we are saying is, let me tell you, it is only in Nigeria you wake up from your house and you say you're going to business and go to Sudan. If you can be able to wake up from your house and say you're going to office. War is not something good. We are just talking. We will talk for talking sake. But, peace is always, this insurgency is something that we will overcome it by God's grace because the way the military are talking. And one funny thing about we Nigerians, if anything good that came from the government, nobody cares. We don't even salute them. We don't tell them anything that they do good. But we are always against them. Whatever they do, we will never. We're watching the TV, we're watching news, and we're hearing, we're listening to all these things that is happening. But nobody will commend them and say, oh, these soldiers, they are trying. But we are always against them. So, if God will answer our prayers, how? How will God answer our prayer that we don't even have we need to also be positive at least once in a while so that God will answer our prayers. So
all right. Thank you very much, Nura. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Elvis, I'm going to ask you 3 questions from Nura's submission. Nura is saying that in the areas that the government does well, we should compliment them. Complementable, the forest guards, the reduction, that is the removal of the police escorts and to the VVIPs. That's a very, very good one. Exactly. So Nura is saying compliment the presidency where they do well. Also, his concerns about these European counterparts offering assistance, but at the same time they're coming to harvest our resources. Now I understand where he's coming from. We've heard reports about MI6, CIA planning to invade countries because they found out about one or two resources that they wanted to have access to. So they create a situation where there is an upheaval, there is chaos in the country, then they would act like they were preferring a solution. Then those countries would need their help. They come in, there's an agreement supposedly, but the agreement means we will get this from you for us to assist you. Now we understand that happening in the past, but what is currently going on in Nigeria? Can you connect it with what he's referring to, what they have done in the past, how they deliberately create chaos in countries to harness their resources? And if it talks about resources, I'm sorry, does Nigeria has more oil than the US?
Esther, I think Oga Nora is speaking from a point of ignorance. You see, the so-called resources, he made mention, he contradicted himself. He said they know that they are suffering in the north. How have they benefited from the so-called resources that he is talking about protecting for the so-called people who have been benefiting, using them as slaves in their own country to fester their own riches and their own ego? How has he benefited? He has not benefited. This man may not have road to his village. This man may not be able to even pay school fees, for his children as expected. This man may not even be able to give his children adequate meal. Better meal.
He said so. They can't go to farms.
But now, because their means of livelihood will be taken away from them, which is farming. Even the so-called farming, Esther, do we still do crude farming in the world today? The world is doing mechanized farming. This man is still going to look for a hole and cutlass. The same way his great-grandfather have been doing it. Then where has he benefited from the government that he is saying that we should be commending? Come, if it is not good, it's not good. If it is good, we say it. There are some actions they've also taken that we say, oh, it was good. You understand? We commend them. But this one that you mean you want the subjects to remain while Nigerians are dying because you want to protect the resources? Who are you protecting it for? The resources are going to be for you and I. We are not benefiting it. Let them come. Let them come. We are not benefiting it. So if they come, the few people that will be left, they will not know that we don't have a new country, a new rebate.
But Mr. Elvis, these Northerners were the ones that said they invited these guys.
Nobody invited them.
No, what I'm talking about.
In Nigeria that they even saw. They saw the decay.
You're talking about the terrorists.
They saw the decay that the government should not bend it.
No, what I'm even saying, can you recall prior to 2015 when they said they were the ones that imported these guys?
Yeah, they imported these guys. And now the guys have now become a thorn on their flesh. And now some people are now saying, oh, the guys you invited, they have become thorns. You can no longer manage them. Let us now help you to now see how we can mitigate this suffering. Then you are now saying they are coming for our resources. Who are the resources of Nigeria?
In the north, they have resources there. Are we saying that the governors of these northern states are not giving their share from those that come to conduct illegal mining?
See, let me see, people don't know anything. When you say resources, I begin to wonder. Look at your state and tell me which resources is there. Look at in the northern state. Tell me which resources is taken from northern state that benefit Nigeria. I'm asking you. When you talk about resources, you always talk about the oil in the south. Whereas in your north there, which resources are you talking about? The resources you are talking about is being mined illegally by so many people like China.
And it's even
you are even not talking about China, you are talking about America. China is doing illegal mining in your
it's even the excessive money they are making from this mine.
Exactly.
To sponsor this terror.
Yes, China even settled. There's allegation that China even settled terrorists to those bandits to for them to create chaos in that area in Nigeria for them to continue mining. You know what China is mining out of this country? This man is talking about America. America has not even come. China that is mining even love the terror, the insecurity going on in the north.
Even private diggers. There's one even Albania.
Mali is there. Mali doing mining. There's so many countries from outside. They are doing illegal mining in your north.
That's why he said he's speaking from the angle.
He doesn't understand. That's what they mean.
Because this is what they preach preach to them.
Yes.
And when they tell them this, that they carry it over.
And they don't even know.
Has he benefited from the resources he's talking about? The resources that are plunged in northern part of Nigeria into where we are today are in the hands of few individuals. No, in the north there.
No, let Nuru come and tell us which resources is in the state that they are taking away, that America also take. Then second, people they don't understand. Saudi Arabia depend on military, American military to protect them. They don't know. So many countries, talking of Middle East.
We saw the what they call these people that were these contractors that were helping even Russia to fight Ukraine.
Yes, even Russia. Yes.
Wagner.
Well, are you talking about even Korea, North Korea? Even some South Africa
donating soldiers to Russia, as suspected as Russia.
Yes.
I even read the report just that there is even a radio presenter in South Africa that is recruiting South African youth for Russia to fight Ukraine.
And this Wagner group of Russia, they are assisting in Middle East.
You know that there are some Nigerian volunteers too. Yes, fighting for Russia. They are in the Russian army. They're fighting for Russia. I even know one on Facebook. He talked.
And now look at the way they change the direction. And this same Russia is assisting some countries. So do you know even this Niger, Russia is here assisting them. Right. So many countries in Congo, so many countries they have them assisting them there, and you are talking as if look at the way they change their direction. That's why they put them in poverty in that area.
This is how they brainwash them and put them in this level they are today. They have over almost 20 million children on the streets in northern part of Nigeria that are not in school. Yet you are talking about resources. The resources that is meant for you.
God.
As he not supposed to take all these children out and be in the school.
And the northern governors.
The biggest offense Jonathan committed was building a Manjeri school to remove these children from the street and put them in the school so that they can have both Western education and have the Islamic education. They saw Jonathan as a threat. You want to come and output these children's eye so that they can no longer use them as they be using them.
For elections.
Those children today are pool. Recruitment pool for this insurgents.
Yes.
You saw them holding some countries' flag that day when they were protesting.
Yes.
They were
even Russian flag.
They don't know what this flag means. The same way these insurgents will just also come and pick them and take them into the bush and then give them gun and give them drugs. They become another person.
If you see a lot of these guys, they're so young.
So we're talking of the security of the people, not talking of resources.
And the northern governors are demanding 59 billion naira for insecurity there. Based on the meeting that they had very recently.
You see, that's why some people love this station. You know why? Because the enlightenment is so open.
Voice of the people. So we speak it the same way the people speak it on the street. Yeah, that's why it is called the voice of the people.
All right, let me take some messages. Good evening, VOP. I repeat, it is ridiculously, very ridiculous to see president getting drunk with power. Mr. President suspended an elected governor, imposed a state of emergency in Rivers State. Nothing happened. The daughter is busy installing her friends and allies as Iyaloja in every state of the federation. The son has become an emperor, moving around in the nation like everywhere is now his umpire. The wife had become an unelected president, giving orders to elected governors, even in his own state, in the presence of the people that elected him. Louis from Surulere. Okay. This person says, indeed, Tinubu has grossly fallen below average, therefore should better give up his 2027 ambition. In Nigeria today, the ABC has destroyed all the legacies and dividends of democracy. Up till now, we'll still talk of poor electricity, no motorable highway, no functional industries for job seekers, insecurity everywhere, hunger ravaging the people having no home again, but living in makeshift camps, education, zero corruption everywhere. Nigeria of Africa, everything is done wickedly with maximum force. Akpabio is in power, the worst of us ruling the best of us, God forbid. Very funny, absurd and laughable in today's civilization. Haba Chinedu from Badagry. Good evening, Esther and your guest. Your analyst Elvis have said my mind. General Atahiru late was actually out to make positive changes in the military, but because of vested interest in the military, the general was killed in a purported plane crash. Esther, the situation in Nigeria is worrisome. The more you look, the less you see. Thank God for Trump's intervention. Otherwise, all these revelations could not have been made possible. Professor Shoyinka, his criticism on PBAT is coming too late. May God help Nigerians. Online chief from Iowa. Benin Republic hasn't been adjusted to accommodate the president beyond second term. Stop the misinformation. Samuel Idiruko. Okay. All right. I also did not get it. Good evening, Esther. I have a question to ask. What is the essence of having National Assembly in a democratic country? Is it not to checkmate the decision of the executive or the presidency? It is unfortunate that what we see in the present National Assembly is just to give assent to anything brought from the presidency without adjusting or saying no. This type of rubber stamp National Assembly, is it what we voted for? Those politicians do not represent the interests of majority of Nigerian people. In fact, we are not happy the way things are done in the National Assembly. They should do things to favor the masses, not their own interest only. From Evangelist Atim Surulere, Lagos. Good evening, Esther and the erudite analyst in the studio. My take is on the alleged Macron front asking the Nigerian president to send our fighter jets to Benin Republic to hold the coup. My question is, since the inception of insecurity in Nigeria, Macron has never deemed it necessary to advise our president on what to do in order to stop the killings of innocent Nigerians. The ECOWAS too has not reason to give helping hands in any way. Now, wow, God day. Agege from Agege. Today, First Lady has converted Nigerian wealth to personal money, making donations called palliative in her name instead of telling her husband to lead well for the citizens to help themselves and not to depend on the First Lady's so-called palliative. Chairman from Agbara. This person says, good evening, Esther and the analyst in the studio. If Atiku and Obi run separately, take it or leave it, Tinubu will win again and again. Let those praise singers around them continue to deceive them and push them to run separately. By God's grace, Esther, you will say I said it. Thank you and good night. Honorable Alhaji Umar Ismail from Ijai, Ojokoro, Lagos. Greetings, VOP family, for the good job. ADC party is not founded in truth, sincerity, and honesty. They have used eyes to share positions when the election is not yet conducted. They don't want to commit themselves to written agreements, showing their ulterior motives. They want to use OB to only win election. Nigeria can never be one party state. If Tinubu achieves his ambition of second term, he will lead majority of the MPs. Amici from Mafoluku. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, Esther. I am Omega from Lagos. Esther, tell your guests not to compare Kanu with other people who never meant good for Nigeria. Kanu is a freedom fighter, not a terrorist. Esther, with all your conversations in the studio, can you now understand that the government is the major terrorist we ever had in this country? Corruption is what held this country down. Nigeria is, the more you look, the less you see. In as much as we continue having bad leaders in every office, Nigeria will be worse than what we're seeing it today. Our government is a betrayer against her citizens, with all indications showing that our government is happy to see her citizens dying. It is quite unfortunate. All right, Esther, evening. I would love to, what you said now, please. You have, okay. Let me know your name, all right? We're going to be commenting that segment on the Evening Rush from January 2026. So a couple of you who are interested, I'd like to know your name. I think I'll have to create a different WhatsApp group so I can compile names. I don't just want anybody who will just come and speak without facts. We want intelligible, in-depth, well-researched conversations about these individuals. Otherwise, I wouldn't permit that. Please, let's not waste each other's time here. We basically educate ourselves on this platform. Hello, Esther. The North became fertile and a breeding ground for insecurity of all shades. A lot of criminal activities are actually going on in the North that is threatening national security, but not factually reported due to poor investigative journalism. Esther, I can tell you for free that kidnapping, banditry, incessant bombing, and all forms of terrorism will persist for a long time in Nigeria, except to address the fundamental causes and negotiate with those guys. These guys are using guerrilla and asymmetric war tactics, which are extremely difficult to combat. Tiwa from Abulegba. Well, Tiwa, the BBC African Eye did a comprehensive documentary investigative journalism on terrorism in Nigeria. As far as I think that was what Mr. Elvis, wasn't it in 2021?
2021, yes.
Yes, where they went to the forest. It took them a whole year to put that together.
Yes.
And this is a BBC.
And today, the presidency have that documentary.
They do. I mean, we saw what transpired. Kadaria Ahmed, El Rufai's sister-in-law, and a couple of others were asking the BBC African Eye why they divulged the information inside that African Eye documentary where these terrorists were spoken with, and they disclosed that they have persons in the government who gives them information and they split the money. So there is already overwhelming actual footage of this. Watch it. It's on BBC. you can get all the facts. Good evening, friends. Congratulations to the military on their efforts to wipe out insurgency and banditry so far. But why is the hierarchy keeping mute on the murder of 9 women in a recent protest? The president's households overbearing influence on Nigerians is very disturbing and worrisome. Noah from Igondo. I don't know why. Do you know the time that there was civilian casualty when the military carried out air raids?
Bombing.
They first of all denied it. In fact, they said it wasn't true. They came out with different press releases 3 different times before they eventually decided that, they were sorry. It was I think it was one of the northern states that the vice president there had to go visit. Was it not under Tinubu's administration the recent one happened?
Yes.
Exactly. Why do we have that?
We had it more than 3 times or 4 times in Buhari's administration.
They will first of all deny it. They will distance themselves. They'll say it's not true. It's propaganda. It's fake.
So just like that general. That general that was killed. You see the way they begin to, and then we wonder what exactly is going on now.
I don't know. Good evening, Queen Esther, Mr. Akunda, Mr. Eli Mehele. Renaud Mokri, an ambassador. The person defending this government irritates. You cannot defend this wickedness called government without sounding stupid. God bless honest Nigerians. Have a good night. Okosisi from Suliri. Good evening, Esther. Good evening, the 2 visitors. I have told the station that the president cannot fight insecurity in Nigeria because they've been part of it since 2014. Good evening, Esther. Nominating Femi Fani-Kayode is very unfortunate. If eventually the National Assembly approves his nomination, he should be posted to Gaza Strip from Chike in Ikorodu. Esther, good evening. What happened to your voice? I have explained it. I went to church on Sunday and I was shouting and singing.
Imagine, you.
Why not? I was very excited. Keep on with the good work you guys are doing. But for me, I have lost interest in Nigeria. Onoha Michael from Greenfield Estate, Agua-Okota, Lagos. Please do not lose interest in Nigeria. Nigeria is your country, please. You need to be interested in it. Paul Chuku from Agua Palace. If Obi should declare his political party, the APC will send someone to break in and destroy it. Do you think at this point that explanation makes any?
That's
I don't think it holds any water.
That's absolutely.
Greetings, Esther. I like this show. God bless you and all. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Joe from Alagbado. I'm a Ghanaian living in Nigeria. I want to ask questions. Why Nigerian government cannot save their own citizens, but they send here to Benin to restore peace in Benin? What a country. I'm in shock when I heard it. Okay. Good evening, Madam Esther, Mr. Akunda, and Mr. Elvis. I want to appeal to Mr. Peter Obi to apply the 48 laws of power. He should keep his next political party choice private for now. Even the Labour Party he used in the last election he joined shortly before contesting. If he announces his plan too early, the APC government may plan people to destabilize the party he chooses. Emmanuel from Lagos. But you know that. Okay, well, please, I wish to come to the studio. And you're 15 years. Whoa. Whoa. I need well-grounded persons. We're not going to be having. Okay, I would maybe try to call you and assess you. I'm going to ask you some questions personally and assess you to know how deep you know stuff. Good evening, S and the guest. Mr. Peter Obi has times with that number said he's not desperate to be Nigeria's president. We're just disturbing ourselves over nothing. All right. Good evening, Esther, Ekundai, and your other guests. Solomon Asika from Mushi. Probably a Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, is now awake from his slumber, and I can sense a bit of sarcasm in his address to Sheyi Tinubu. If I were to advise Obi, he should leave Nigerian politics because they don't know what they want. As for Malami, karma is catching up, and more is still to come. Good evening, Esther Wachiko, Mr. Elvis, Mr. Ekundaya. Esther, the more you look, the less you see. The Zambita forest where these bandits and terrorist guys operate is 66,000 square meters, bigger than 5 southwestern states combined. Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Ekiti, Ondo. Esther, any matter that is brought to the Senate may or may not be debated before approval is granted. The Senate is guided by their own procedures. It is wrong for Senator Siriaka Dixon to revisit and bring up a matter that's already been decided and is no longer up for debate. He should have raised an object before the consent is granted, citing procedural errors with the necessary articles from the Senate Procedural Handbook. You see, they are used to the rubber stamp approach, so they don't understand their standard procedures anymore. Mr. Ekundaya, Sheyi Tinubu has a job. In fact, he owns one of the biggest outdoor media advertising agency in Nigeria today, Architect Olaliko. Good evening, VOP. Yes, all those that Lekki toll gates. You see that advert, whatever that says. On the government of Nigeria to swiftly prevent armed coup plotters in Benin Republic without colossal damage. How come the terrorist weapons are killing unabated under the same President Tinubu's watch without applying that kind of willpower by giving the military the marching order to stop all the terrorists causing nightmare on Nigeria's borders? Patrick from Oshodi. Good evening, Esther. I want everyone to know that Tinubu is aware of everything, including that of the activities of his wife, children. He cannot caution them because that's their lifestyle. Esther, I will come to your studio if you bring Peter Osifo, Abidin Adeyemo, or Bayo Fabi together with me. God bless you, Esther. My name is Chikezi Nwodo from Akpabio. All right, okay. Good evening, VOP. If the invasion of Benin Republic was very urgent, that the president could not approach the National Assembly first, what about the Coastal Road? Did the president approach the National Assembly before commencing the project? Samuel from Oshodi. Mr. Elvis, does the president need approval of the Senate for the Coastal Road project?
Never.
Did he need it?
Is
it a procedure?
Yes. It was that road was not appropriated for in the budget now. Only God knows where the money that they are using to sponsor that road. It was not sent to the Senate for approval, and it was not appropriated for in the budget. But the road is ongoing.
And they are already commissioning it.
They are commissioning some
seriously.
Part of it.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening. Until the pulling of all the structure down is generally deemed necessarily expedient, then all these calls for calm whenever pulling down is the option. This incessant usurpation by the so-called constituted authority will continue to decimate and emaciate Nigerians. For example, when elections are rigged and the people agitate, the media and the politicians call for calm. What arrant inanity! The media is supposed to support the agitations of the people, not selling calls for calm to the politicians who buy it. Now Bishop Koka is calling for calm because he can lose some board membership given him by President Tinubu to guard him. Tochukwu Adele Thompson from Obanikuru. Good evening, VOP. In 1988, President Pierre Tabotha of South Africa said blacks are not capable of ruling themselves. Give them guns and they will kill themselves. Give them government and they will employ their families. It's been 37 years now. He has been proven right time and time again. Nemesis from Ogun State. If you say that some Fulanese are good, why are they living in the bush? I'm Mr. Smart from Koka. Mr. Elvis, is it all Fulanese that live in the bush?
No, not at all.
Their lifestyle.
Some even have properties, nomad, live.
Yes, even I don't know. They want so many of them in government. What of Buhari who have become president? Is it not a Fulani?
Let me ask you something. What does nomadism mean? Aren't we all nomads in some way? I mean, if our parents go to the farm, we go to the farm, whatever we harvest, we go to the market to sell them. Is that not part of nomadism? Does it just have to do with animals?
No.
Okay.
Nomad means you move from one place to another. We have a farmer nomads.
Okay.
We have cattle nomads.
Okay.
So the farmer nomads, we call it shifting cultivation and bush following. So when they farm a certain land for 3 years, they move from it to another area. They don't come back to that area for a very, very long time.
Okay.
So they are called nomads. They roam farming. So the same with the cattle headers. So they roam all over the place. They don't stay in one place.
But that technique is now outdated.
It's outdated. That's
a long time ago now. Okay. So we already have modern methods since like that bush following and the cultivation. We have what refer to as crop rotation, where you have a big land and then you divide it and then you move around within that space.
Continuous farming, a continuous cropping. That because of the application of fertilizer, you can use one land for so many years. That's why we are now calling on them that you should not use your personal business, traditional business. That because this is how your father did it, then you continue it even in this civilized world to disturb another person's business.
Do you know that? Do you know that even in Europe there was nomadic herdsmen in Europe
before?
But modernization, science and technology have given them a better method in which they don't need to roam about. They've stationed there since many years ago. They have stopped all this method. So this one is just a way of taking over land and then you refuse to stop. If you refuse to stop the old system that is causing problem, then you should face the law. That means you are contravening the law because you are not the only person.
All right. As I want you to go, bonsoir, gentlemen. I'm Engineer Oji from Benin Republic. Please, we're waiting Muslims and Northerners who can support USA military to welcome to Nigeria. Rather, they support terrorists. I'm sorry for them. Good evening. On the security issue, Akbari area boys Uwoma and Sego still held on to their security. What do we call this? Babatunde from Masha.
That's serious.
Wahala, no, they finish. Nigerians are not one. Sheikh Gumi must be arrested in the first place before banditry and insurgency will end. God bless you all for your response in the studio, but let Nigerians go their separate ways. With Hausas in one Nigeria, there shall be no. Wow. Good evening, Esther. It's laughable and equally sad that military can easily jump to another country to quench a military coup, but have failed to woefully clear militants that have ravaged that country for many years until something urgent and drastic is done by the Nigerian government by arresting top shots in Nigeria. And people like Gumi will never get it right. Esther, my preferred presidential candidate is Peter Obi or nothing. Good night, Esther, from His Royal Highness BC Nwoko in Oshodi. Okay, His Royal Highness, we heard you loud and clear. Good evening, Esther. Much fun, your guest in the studio. Esther, Tiger slaughter base in Ori under the police custody is brutally messed up with some innocent citizens. People are being accused unlawfully, killed and harvested with their organs on daily basis. IGP should take a watch list on that base before it's too late to bear. Remy from Ejigbo. Okay, Remy. Yeah, we're on the Tiger-based situation. Good evening, Esther and the gentlemen in the studio. You guys are doing well by saying the truth that the Nigerian government can't say. Please, you men should help and encourage us Nigerians to push for election reform, because if our election system is okay, Mr. Peter Obi and any other person or candidate can participate in the election and win in free and fair elections. But without having a system that is transparent, we're going nowhere. Thank you. Uwem from Surilere. All right, we've actually run out of time. Mr. Elvis Elamihele, in a few seconds, what's your final take?
Few seconds.
Thank you, Esther. We have had a better discussion this evening.
I've kept you beyond time, so.
Imagine. And we hope that Nigerians will follow suit. You know, it's a challenge to all of us, so we have to hold this nation and tell the rulers our needs and our demands.
All right, Mr. Ekundire.
Yes, if you can fix your house and somebody wants to come and assist you, so is this a crime? America wants to come and assist Nigeria, work with Nigerian government to be able to fix all this. Some people are saying they are coming to resources or resources. I don't know. So they are coming to assist us. So they are working with our military using intelligence and then be able to assist. And so don't let people, those who are benefiting from this terrorism to brainwash you.
All right. Thank you very much. Stanley from Okota says that my voice is improving because Barrister Darlington there is always stressing it. It's not on seats. Glory to God. You guys are troublemakers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. We'll continue to educate ourselves right here on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And trust me, they are listening. If you think they're not listening, they're listening. Nigeria go better. The country has no choice. It has to be better. But we'll continue to hold the government accountable because it's their responsibility to prioritize Nigerians, to prioritize the interests of Nigerians. And if they don't hold on to that, we'll call them out. We'll compliment them when they do what is necessary. We'll also call them out when they are failing in their responsibilities. So have yourself an amazing evening. Bye for now and see you tomorrow.
Good day, my people.